Good morning. Here we are at Ball Cap Bible Study for the first Monday in June. Wow, it's already June, June 2nd. Here we are, rocking the FCA Ball Cap today, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Lots of athletic events going on, the men's and women's College World Series, the NBA Finals, all that kind of cool stuff. I hope you're having a great year so far. After this month, we'll be on our way to 2026 and we'll be entering the holiday season for 2025. Okay. My name is Wade Cruz. I'm the pastor for senior adults at Quail Springs Baptist Church. So we are going to look at Psalm chapter 1. That was our study in Southern Baptist churches all across the nation this week in a series called Explore the Bible. But I wanted to show you something. I'm on a stone pathway today in virtual reality, and I wanted to show you the difference the contrast between the way of the righteous and the way of the wicked in this first psalm. Many scholars don't believe this was one that was a song. It was more of wisdom poetry, kind of like a long proverb. But today let me get my coffee. Today we'll look at it. And I also want you to see like this descending order, how you can be taken down, even if it's just your countenance, how you can let outside influences just bring you down and lose your happiness and you know look at this. This is Psalm chapter 1. It says, "Blessed is the man." Uh, it would mean man or woman. Blessed is the person. Blessed is the man who walks not. Okay, so it's like a contrast. Some Bibles say, "Blessed is the man who does not walk." Um, Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked. Now, you know who good people are and bad people are. I have a friend that says, "Well, I don't like to call them good and bad." Okay, let's say they just don't do things that are good. The way they do business, the way they conduct themselves, it's not godly, it's not wholesome, it's not all that. So, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers. Okay, so I want you to see this descending order. Uh, you don't walk with the wicked, or stand with sinners, or sit with scoffers. I think that's interesting too, that how all the letters go together. Obviously, when they were writing that in Hebrew, I'm not sure that was the look, but it's easy to remember, isn't it? You don't walk with wicked, stand with sinners, or sit with scoffers. And it says, or stand in the way of sinners. You don't walk, see that path? And if you look closely down there, there's a fork in the road. And so which way are we going to go? It's it's real easy to get caught in the flow of the world, to get caught up in people that maybe are trying to, I don't know, manipulate you or control you or have their way with you. Sometimes they're not even, evil intentions. They don't have bad intentions. Oh, and I froze up. Doggone it. Well, we're just going to keep plowing through. So a lot of times, they might even think they have your best intentions in mind, and they're not doing you any favors, or they're not understanding why you are doing your thing. So we got to be careful. Here's what I would like you to know. Before we were called Christians, before we were called anything, we called ourselves the way, the way. And, when you look at that fork in the road, and when you look at, are you going to walk with the wicked, or are you going to sit with sinners or stand with sinners and sit with scoffers? You know, it's kind of like what it says in Proverbs. There is a way which seems right to a man, but it leads to death. Now let's contrast that with this righteousness lifestyle or attitude or countenance or thinking, whatever you want to call it. Listen to this. So I'm just gonna, it's only um, a few verses, 6 verses. It's kind of like 23rd Psalm. It's only 6 verses. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of the sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. It's always on your mind. He's like a tree planted by streams of water. Some Bibles will say firmly, uh, that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all he does, he prospers. Think about that. That's what we want to be, prosperous Christians, not prosperous by the world's definition, but by God's definition. Um, the wicked are not so. They are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. And there we go, freezing up again. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what my computer's doing today, but we'll just go with it. We don't edit these. We just go with the raw content. Um, but here's the thing, but the righteous will be like that tree firmly planted by the springs, by the waters. And think about how deep those roots go. You don't want to be a shallow Christian. You want to have depth. You want to bear fruit. When I was a little boy, I may have told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. When I was a little boy, my great grandparents, next door neighbor, had a giant pear tree in their backyard. I mean, the Bartlett pears, the big green ones, And you'd walk over there in the summer. I'd be about 5, 6, 7 years old, and this thing was huge. I mean, it was beautiful. Couldn't wrap my arms around it. And there would be 50, 100 pears laying on the ground. And then you look up in the tree. I bet the tree, it was easily 40, 50 feet tall. Seemed like it when I was 5. It was huge and just covered full of pears. It was the most prolific producing pear tree I've ever seen. Did you like that alliteration? Prolific producing pears. But anyway, you could just walk right up and pick one off and eat it. And I pretended I was in the Garden of Eden. And anyway, just the stuff would run down your face, the juice. And but here's the thing. When I got to my great grandparents' house and I looked back there, I didn't say, wow, look at that neat pecan tree, or look at all the oranges on that tree. It was a pear tree. And you know why I knew it was a pear tree? Because it had pears all over it. There were pears underneath it. It littered the ground with pears. And that's what should happen with us. When people see us, they should go, that's a Christian. Not because I have a hat on with a cross on it, but because I litter the ground. I literally leave in my path Christian consequences, godly receipts. So all the things that we do and the way we do them, and I don't know why this thing keeps locking up, but we're going to go with it anyway. All the things that we do ought to be evidence of who we belong to. Our fruit should define us. So, and it probably does. So here's the thing: if nobody's ever asked you why you're different or accused you of being a Christian or said, "Hey, you're one of those church guys" or something, um, you know, maybe we need to live beyond Sunday. And we also, um, you know, even though I'm a pastor, I do not equate church attendance with spirituality. I've known some very, very strong Christians, spiritual Christians that got to church when they could, but their footprint was during the week. So don't think too highly of yourself if you look in the mirror and say, I go to church every Sunday. Do I want you to go to church every Sunday? Yes, but I understand if you can't. So um, be that tree, be a Christian tree, bear your fruit. Don't walk with the wicked or stand with the sinners or sit with the scoffers. And it's not easy to do because the world is a world that mocks. The world, has full of sarcasm and people think things are funny that are not, that are ungodly and unrighteous. So, all right, that's Psalms 1. Sorry about this thing freezing up and locking up so much, but I hope you enjoyed it. Love you guys. We will see you next week.